Okay, we are recording and I'm going to go Facebook. Facebook Live, here we go. It's so true about what they say, right? Like the more you do it, the less scared you're going to be of something.
Mm-hmm.
I am like, I used to want to throw up doing Facebook Lives when I first started. Now I'm like, hey, I already did 2 Facebook Lives. I better not do another one.
This is a good problem to have.
Right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I just want to talk to you people. I just want to talk to you.
It's a very good problem to have.
Yes.
I love doing lives together, I'm just kind of a group girl.
Yeah.
A togetherness, a team girl.
What is this? Episode what? 4? 5?
4.
4.
Episode 4.
Okay. Mental health and our oils. Go live.
Going live. Sweet. All right, are we live?
We are live. Yes, we are. Look at that. There we are.
Awesome. Welcome, everybody. We are back. It is Melanie and I. And again, we're here not to remind you, because we all know that there are so many things out of our control right now, but we are here to again talk about how we can improve our health or how we can support our health through the use of the starter kit, the essential oils. And so we are inviting you all to take the next 15 minutes to learn about how you can support your body's wellness through essential oils. So welcome to What the Health? Right? Welcome to What the Health.
What the Health? What the Health? Woo!
So we are going to be talking about some tried, tested, and true ways of looking after our mental health with the 11 oils in the Young Living's starter bundle. And Melanie is showing you that bundle right now. And before we get started, I just want to encourage you to click the share button, hit that share button on your bottom, I think it's your bottom left or your bottom right, so that everybody can watch this. You never really know who needs this information. And everyone, I think, would feel appreciative if they had access to these oils once they learn about them. So definitely click on share. You want to be that person that's like introducing this to your friends.
Absolutely. You do want to be that person because, man, let me tell you, I'm so grateful somebody shared with me. Life-changing, game changer, for sure. Be that person. Click the share or start a watch party.
Yes, watch party, even better.
Yes.
So there's something for everyone to hear when it comes to supporting their health. And you just never know who really needs to hear it in their life right now. And I know that we are all, I think it's safe to say that everyone at this point in time, after it's been 10 months, where some people have been on partial lockdowns, half lockdowns, dealing with not going to school, not going to work, whatever that is, I think it's safe to say that everybody has been struggling a little bit, and some a lot, with their mental health. So I'm just going to begin by sharing a quick story about how I found the plant-based products. We found it because there was a little bit of a big tragic accident in Little League. And so at that point, when we had a parent had lost a child to a cleaner under their sink, my husband and I had decided, okay, we need to switch out everything. And at that time, we weren't looking for oils, but of course, in our research with Young Living, because Young Living has over 650 products, we found our cleaners, which is the Thieves Cleaner, but we found oils. And it was no later than maybe 4 or 5 months down the road when we had the oils in our house that I was in dire need of these oils because I had a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack, like a minor stroke, basically. And so I was having all of this like brain dysfunction. I was seeing things in mirror images. I was writing things in mirror images. I couldn't drive anymore. I couldn't write, obviously, lost math, lost a lot of things. And in that, because it's such a stressful situation, just my mentality was in the dumps because I was struggling so much to try and just retain and bring back the things that I was normally used to. Going to the store and doing simple math was an easy thing, but after this attack was not an easy thing. And just getting to the store was not an easy thing. So it was a lot. And I always tell people the thing that got me through that was frankincense. So frankincense is in the starter bundle. And this is an oil that I used every 3 hours for 30 days, every 3 hours for 30 days, except for when I was sleeping, because it grounded me. It made me feel sane because I really did not feel sane. Before it was diagnosed as an ITA or TIA, one of my sisters kept saying, well, you must be having a nervous breakdown. And that doesn't make you feel any better, right? You're just like, oh, this is what happens when you have a nervous breakdown. Like, who knows, right? But ultimately, when I got the notification, and after all these tests that, okay, yeah, it looks like there was something definitely happened, and it was a TIA. Frankincense saved my mentality, I guess you could say. And I used as many tree oils as I could. And in this particular kit that we're talking about, there's frankincense, Northern Lights black spruce. Those are the two main tree oils. Am I right, Mel?
Copaiba as well.
Okay, copaiba.
Yeah.
And so all of those tree oils are what help to ground us, keep us calm. And a good thing for you to do using frankincense is to put a drop or two on your thumb and put it to the roof of your mouth. Hold it there for about 30 seconds. And you will feel a difference. That's for sure. Now, I didn't know that technique. I didn't actually need to put it in my mouth. I would put it on my face, on my neck, on the back of my neck, the front of my neck, and smell it. And there's this fantastic book by Dr. Corey Deacon, who's a neuroscientist based out of Canada. He wrote this book called Your Brain on Oils. And what he and his team did was study the oils just from an aromatic standpoint. They tested the brain, they hooked it up to an EEG, and after a certain amount of minutes, days, hours, depending on the oil, they would see a difference in the brain. And I think one of the most profound things that I've found in the book, there's so many different profound things that you can find in this book, but one of the most profound things in this book is what happens to your brain when you are smelling lemon oil. And what their study found was that after 66 days, anyone that's smelling it, they're creating a new happy pathway, basically a new neural pathway. And there's all sorts of like scientific information that you can get into, but one of the things that I love about this book is that it's not, half of it's in layman's terms, so you can follow it. And imagine that after 66 days, you feel an improvement in your mood, which, mentality management has a lot to do with our mood and being able to maintain our mood. So lemon is an oil that can help support your mood. They call it the sunshine oil. Is that what they call it, Mel?
Sunshine in a bottle.
The sunshine in a bottle.
Yes.
So those are 3 of the oils so far, the frankincense, black spruce, and lemon, and copaiba, 4 of the oils so far. Can you think of any other any other of the oils specifically, Mel, that affect our brain and mentality as opposed to any of the other systems?
Um, they all work like so intertwined on like everything, right? Specifically on the brain, I would also, I would say Panaway, because Panaway, this one, it is our oil for pain, and like putting that on your brainstem, because we know that, right, like that's where all our nervous system runs through, is in your spine and your neck up to your brain. So you put Panaway on there, and there is a really amazing oil in here called Helichrysum, which is like a nerve regenerating oil. And that is something, right? Like you just want to keep as much calmness in your nervous system as you can, so that your brain can function the way it needs to, right? With all of the little transmissions going on, and all of that. So just keeping the inflammation down. And we know that our neck has a big job. It has a big job holding up our head. And, you know, sleeping wrong, all of those sorts of things are hard on our muscles. So just keeping all of that relaxed, so that our nervous system has room to do what it needs to function, that the highway's open, right? That's a big deal for sure.
Yeah, it's so funny because that's like a duh thing for me now. All of a sudden, as you're mentioning Panaway, I'm like, wait, of course, because if anytime that we're feeling pain, we cannot even think straight, right? I mean, even minimal pain is like this agitation, right? So we're just not happy people, and we're agitated, and it's easy to just kind of get angry at whatever because we have this little biting pain. But then people who have enormous amounts of pain, my gosh, that is a big shift in mentality or in mental health, just to ease up on any kind of pain that you're having.
Absolutely, because it's exhausting, right? Like it's exhausting trying to manage that all the time, like just being within your own mind, telling yourself you're okay, it doesn't hurt, I'll figure it out, it'll be fine. Like, and just like you said, it's irritating, and we can only handle so much, like we're human. So that's why I'm so grateful that we have, these tools in our home. Like there's so many things outside of our home, but right here we can do it ourselves. Like we can do so much preventative and so much for the things before we do have to, take up those services outside our home that, may cost extra money and time and energy, and that adds to the stress of things as well. So definitely having this kit in the home is like number one for mental health. It's there for sure.
I have to just say that my husband is all about maintenance and preventative for AC, right? For the air
Right.
conditioning. And this is what he refers to now. So we always normally call it our medicine cabinet, right? But
Yes.
now he's like, well, that's our preventative and maintenance cabinet.
It is. It really
Yep.
is. It's so
It's
true.
true.
And it's your go-to. And like, how long, when we don't have something in our cupboard, like how long do we suffer before we're like, okay, fine, I'll go to the doctor. It's been like 3 months and this pain hasn't gone away, or I don't feel any happier. I don't feel right. Like it takes a long time for us to be like, hey, somebody needs to look after me. It's not going away. Something's wrong. But when we have these things, like we can get it like right now, right? Like, and it's not adding to our, toxic burden that our body holds all the time and is dealing with because of, the products, the things that we used to use or whatever. But like even, oh, I have a sore throat, and it's not like I need to go buy some Halls, I need to go buy cough medicine or whatever. You have it right here, and that's peace of mind. Like that's a huge peace of mind. Oh gee, what oil do I need? All I have is peppermint. Okay, whatever, I guess I'm putting it on my throat and it feels better. So they're so diverse to use in any way. And just knowing how empowered you are to have your own health in your hands, and you're not relying on somebody and hoping that they are going to tell you the right thing, or, you know, give you the right medicines, or will just even listen to you. And we know our bodies best, and we know when we use these, how we feel and how quickly we feel better, and like the peace of mind. And especially now, right? Like, how hard is it to get in to see a doctor? You know, do you really want to go to like an emergency room because, you know, that pain isn't going away or whatever, right? Like, we're really second guessing our choices that we were so used to having. And now it's like, yeah, no, I have it right here. I have it, like, I have it sitting on my desk all the time because we use it all the time. It's like right there, right? Like, it's like, oh, you know, we went skating yesterday and I like jarred my neck. Here, oh, put some Panaway on, right? Like, you know, like whatever. And just having that power is such a huge piece of mental health, because I really believe that when we lose our power, we have to battle within ourselves the whole mental health thing, because we feel hopeless and helpless, and those are two very dangerous places to be in our mental health. They're not good at all. So yeah, okay, so we also have lavender. Lavender is definitely one of your go-tos. All of these oils are your go-tos, but for your mental health, a lot of times sleep is a big deal, and not sleeping, you know, your mind is racing. I actually used to not like the smell of lavender, but I couldn't sleep one night, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I will put this on my big toe because it's what I talk about and what I share with other people. I'm like, use it, get it on your big toe. It works. And my brain just wouldn't stop one night. I'm like, no, like, I can't believe this. Like, what? And then I put lavender on, and like, I don't even remember falling asleep. I just remember waking up, and I'm like, what just happened? Like, it turns off all that monkey chatter, right? Like, that's what they, you know, they like to call it the monkey chatter. It's not really useful. It's not helpful. So for sleep, it also does make you feel, right? Like, you can just feel calmer. It just has that whole, brings you like stress-free feeling, relaxing. I guess there's the word. You want to relax.
You know, my kids, 2 of them out of the 4, will ask for lavender now when they feel some anxiety. They will ask for it because they've had such good results in the evening to just get into that peaceful zone. They can recognize that at night. And so if during the day they're feeling a little anxious, maybe about schoolwork or something, we homeschool. And so, you know, I'm still pressuring them to get their stuff done.
Yes.
And so they'll go to the lavender as a source of, you know, peacefulness.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just seen Josie had mentioned on our Facebook that she loves lavender as well. She's a mama of 3 boys under 6 years old. So she's like all about the lavender. Us moms,
Man,
we love
I
it.
was just going to say, Josie, you must go through a whole bottle just for yourself.
Yeah. So it is, right? Like, talking about mental health when we have kids, when we know that we can help our babies, same thing, right? It's empowering. And they're like, Mom, you're the best. They go to sleep. There's no fight. Like, it just really is such a, it's just such
Soothing.
a, yes. And just to be able to help your children, right? Just to have that whole thing where I'm like, oh, I'm putting some on right now, talking about lavender. Like, I always like putting it on my ears. I don't know. I put it like just on the outsides of my ears right here. Like, put it on there, put it on the back.
I'm not a fan of lavender, of the smell of lavender, but I mean, it works. Anytime I put it on the back of my neck before I go to bed, I'm out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's so good.
It is. And so we know that sleep is incredibly important, right? So incredibly important. Um, Josie just said she goes through a 15 ml bottle of lavender a month. Yes, she does. And little boy scrapes, burns, bruises. She uses it for all the things. But yes, that's how, and we know that when we are, with your mental health, a huge part of it is just to feel calm, to get in a state where, you're content, where your mind isn't racing all the time, all the time, all the time, because that seems to be the normal in our society, right? Like we have a to-do list that is like a mile long, and we are just like trying to jump from one thing to the next before we're even done this one. And then we're adding tomorrow's stuff on, and we're going and going. And it never stops. It never stops unless we make it. And then things like, what you said, Kristen, right? Like it could be deemed a nervous breakdown. And like, who know, like, I don't know what that is either. And that was the whole reason why I got involved in the oils as well. I'm pretty sure that what I was going through, they would have deemed it a nervous breakdown back in the day. And I just had a full-blown anxiety attack. I didn't even know what anxiety was. And one morning I just woke up like that, and I had an anxiety attack, and it lasted like 3 months, 24/7. It did not go away. And I was in that constant state of panic and fear, and I was throwing up. I was like debilitated. I couldn't get out of bed. They put me on medical leave because I couldn't get to work. And stress is a real thing. Like when they say stress kills, it does. It really does. And it's so crazy to understand how the word stress, because we can't see it, right? Like it's something we feel, and then it can actually do enough damage that it could take our life. My eyesight started going, like I couldn't see properly, and all this weird things, and it was just so bizarre. And the eye specialist kept telling me, he's like, you have 20/20 vision, like you're fine. And I'm like, I am not fine. I cannot see. I don't know what you're seeing, but I am not seeing what you think I'm seeing. And I actually went to that Dr. Corey Deacon that Kristen was talking about and did the live brain scan. And what he found is that I have an injury in my visual processing part of my brain. But because I was under so much stress and I wasn't managing it at all, it was like the symptoms were just like huge of like what was going on. And eyesight was one of them, because it was the visual processing. My brain could not process what I was seeing. So I was thinking that I was seeing nothing. It just wasn't getting processed. So yeah, go ahead. Did you want to say
I was just going to say to you, it's interesting because I had seen 3 different doctors, and finally my eye doctor, who's a very good eye doctor in town, had said, I need to go and see this neuroscientist, I guess, who, well, he specializes in neuro something or another, but through the eyes.
Right.
And he's going to be able to see if there's anything going on directly behind your eyes, because apparently that is like one of the hardest parts to see, like in an MRI.
Right.
So lo and behold, I go to the neuro eye guy, and he's like, oh yeah, I see, inflammation here and here and here and here and here and here.
Wow.
And that explains why you're seeing a mirrored image. And that explains why you can't comprehend math right now. But so it's interesting because our eyes and the brain tissue behind our eyes plays a huge part in what's happening, right? Our reality.
It is. So. And then our physical symptoms are scary, right? Like that's scary. So it affects our emotions and our mental health like this, right? Like so fast when we don't know what it is. And when our medical system is like, yeah, no, we don't know what's wrong with you. You're fine, actually. And you're like, actually, not so fine. So definitely, definitely is something to keep in mind, right? Like, you know, if there are physical things that you're going through and you're worried about it, that's going to affect your mental health as well. So these oils come into play, just helping you regulate that, because, you know, once you know what you're dealing with, then you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. I can understand. And not knowing things is one of the scariest things in the earth, because you don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how long you're going to have to deal with it. You don't know, you just are so uncertain about so many things. And so, like the frankincense, that was my go-to as well. When I was going through all of that and discovered these oils, I was like, all the frankincense. And I would like pour it on the top of my head, because I'm like, it's got to get to my brain real quick this way too. And right, like I would do the same thing. I'm like all over everywhere. Let's just do it. So yes, we also have the peppermint oil that's in the starter bundle. So this is amazing. Not only does it smell epic, but the peppermint oil it may actually help regenerate and support your nervous system. So that's a huge piece of your mental health, right? Your nervous system, when that is overloaded, and inflammation is actually one of the biggest causes of like depression and like our mental health issues that we have a lot of time, is inflammation in our gut and then also in our brain. And I learned from Dr. Corey Deacon that our brain actually goes through a detoxing phase while we are sleeping, and that has to be able to drain properly and it has to detox properly. And it doesn't do that if we do not sleep, if we don't get the right amount of sleep. And so yes, so we want sleep is important. Getting these oils on so that you can manage your nervous system, and you know, all of those things, so that you can deal with better. And yeah, I just can't stop smelling it. We have it's a digestible line. It's called the Vitality line of oils. They have white labels on them. So here is a lavender with the white label. Yay, look, we got them. And then this is just what they look like. So you can ingest these oils. They've been approved by Health Canada for ingestion. That's one thing I love about this company, is the integrity that they have, the quality. They don't want to be giving us anything that is going to harm our body any more than, you know, the things that we do to it on a regular basis. So our products are tested like by 3 different companies. One of them is an outside company, totally unbiased to Young Living. And if they do not reach the standards, they don't use them. They will not use them, which makes me feel very safe, because I know what I'm bringing into my home is safe, and I don't have to double check. I don't have to research every time. I don't have to label read every time. So definitely have been very, very grateful for their transparency. We have our own farms. You can go to a farm and you can go look anywhere, like go through any door. They will let you see anything. They will walk you through it. It's amazing. I've been to 4 of them now. So I just love the fact that they are so transparent, and they're like, this is what we do. This is what you're getting. This is how you're getting it. And it's like, yay. Yeah. So talking about how, like, a lot of times, you know, inflammation in our gut affects our mental health, because serotonin there's so much research coming out now about how serotonin is built in our gut, and it needs to be healthy. So we have an oil called Digize, and this supports your digestive system. So this is something incredibly important you need for your mental health as well, right? Like just maneuvering that system. It's hard. It is hard. And I feel in this day and age, when everything is like fast food, processed food, our healthy organic food is more expensive. And is it even organic? Is it GMO? Like there is so much that we have to even consider with our food now. And it's like, how is our belly doing? Right? Like honestly, it's hard. It's got to be hard. So supporting that with DiGize is gonna really definitely help you maintain your wellness, your mental wellness. So we have RC in the kit as well. RC stands for respiratory care. Okay, so how does this affect your mental health? Well, we all know that you need oxygen, right? Like you need oxygen to move everything around in your body. Oxygen needs to get to your brain for it to function properly and your little transmitters to be, synapses and neurons, whatever. I'm like, I sound like I know something about the brain and synapses. It's the only thing I remember from my psychology class, synapses. No. So RC, respiratory care, is going to help, obviously, your respiratory system. It can just help you with the oxygen. We have guys that work out, well, girls too, like before they do workouts, they actually will use the RC oil on their chest and throats just to open up those airways so that they can get the oxygen flowing when they're doing their workout. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll say that RC is the oil in my family. I have 3 siblings who suffer from sleep apnea.
Wow.
And so they use RC at night in their diffusers, and they have sworn by it, that it helps so much with opening up the airways. They have less snoring, less waking up, not being able to breathe, that sleep apnea issue. And they've had a lot of good success with it. So of course, the less snoring, the better breathing that is happening while you're sleeping, the better sleeping and the better mentality.
Yeah, it's amazing how everything is so interconnected, right? Like the food we eat, the amount that we move our body, the products we have in our home, right, like how much food and nutrition we're getting in, our gut health, like everything contributes to our mental health, our whole overall health. But sometimes, we can have those days where we're like, oh my gosh, I just can't stop crying and I don't know why. Like there's like, I don't know, it just is happening, right? But what we don't know is what's going on behind the scenes of like, okay, is our body like overloaded? Has it been exposed to too many, toxins in the last month? How are my hormones doing? Maybe the foods I've eaten, maybe I haven't exercised enough, maybe I didn't sleep enough, and like, the detox stuff isn't happening in the brain, and right. And so like we don't get to see what is going on inside on an everyday basis. So when we're just like having those breakdowns and we're like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, I don't know. Let me look in your cupboard. Let me look in your cupboard, not only about the food you're eating, but also about the cleaners you're using. So this brings us to purification, the oil purification. And this one, like I will say over and over again, purification, it's great for anything stinky, but this is the oil I use instead of dryer sheets, right? Why is that a big deal? Dryer sheets have so many toxic chemicals on it. They like mess with our hormones, our respiratory system, like everything. It's just incredible how many things are on that tiny sheet that we think smells so good and that we do not, and it messes with us. So this purification oil, like, throw the dryer sheets away, throw them away, because they are contributing to like such health, your health factors. It is unbelievable. And, your laundry soaps, and it always comes down, because it's a lifestyle. Being healthy is a lifestyle. I'm not saying, okay, you have to get up and run like 5 kilometers every day and you're only allowed to eat spinach and you can only do this and this and this. That is not at all. If that's how it was, I would not be here. I'd be like, I'm out. And but the thing is you need to be aware of what you're bringing in your home, because that is your responsibility, 100% your responsibility. You're the gatekeeper. You are the one that decides what gets to come in and what doesn't. So that's power, and with power and knowledge comes responsibility. So just a quick thing, the biggest thing I feel like, and I know it's not the biggest thing, but one of the things with the things in your home, anything that bubbles or foams, okay, it has a really toxic agent in it called SLS, which is sodium lauryl sulfate. And that is dangerous, people. It is so dangerous. It messes with your endocrine system, like your hormones get thrown out of whack. And yes, men, you have hormones as well. But it is just, it's a whole big deal. Like, it's a big deal. It needs to be taken seriously, because what products have that? Like, just think for 1 second, how many products do you use in a day that foam, right? Your hand soap, your toothpaste, your shampoos, your dishwashing liquid. I'm like, what else? What else is out there?
Body gel,
Body
the
gel.
bath gel,
Yes, like
the
all of,
bath bubbles, the whole
yes,
thing that the
yes.
kids love, but
Yeah, so it is not good. They might be like looking like they're all the fun, but you know, a wolf in sheep's clothing for sure. You want to get that out of your house. That, you know, if you're feeling crappy, if you are having problems with your mental health, we are definitely not wanting to have those products in your home, because your body is already fighting a fight with something else, with your mental health. You do not want to be adding these toxins on top of it and being like, hey, fight this crap off too. While, and then we're like, why am I crying? Why am I crying?
yeah.
So
Yeah, let's just mention that there's, I think is it 21 or 2200? So over 2000 chemicals are allowed here in America.
right.
But if you go to Europe, those same, 2000 something chemicals are not allowed on the shelves in Europe. And that's because they've done extensive studies. And that's because the government has said, and people have lobbied for the government to say, no, we cannot have these chemicals in our products because they're either cancerous or cancer causing and disrupting different systems. So an endocrine disruptor, and a lot of them are endocrine disruptors, right?
Yes.
Or they affect us in some other way, but they're wreaking havoc on the body. And that is why those 2000 chemicals are no longer allowed. Right. So, I mean, there's a list, we have a list. And if anybody's interested in that list, let us know, because we can attach a link for you to look at that list, just to look at your labels and say, okay, do I want this on my shelf anymore in my home? Because there's already multiple governments and multiple, moms groups all over the world that have said, we've done separate testing, we've done independent testing. These things are not good for our kids. These things are not good for us. No. So take a look.
Exactly.
I think that's one of the reasons why we probably love Young Living so much, is because we trust them and they make sure that these chemicals are not in their products. So we don't really have to label read anymore. But when I got started, I was label reading all the time, going, oh, okay, no Lake 5, no yellow, whatever, no, none of those colors, because those are really wreaking havoc on our reproductive systems of our children.
And toothpaste, what the heck? If swallowed, call poison control, but put it in your mouth every day. Like, is that not playing Russian roulette with your life and we're like, brush your teeth, kids, brush your teeth, brush your teeth. And we're like, it's because we don't know, right? And that's why we're here, is to help you learn. I'm just wanting to be like cognizant, whatever that word is.
Time.
I just want to be respectful of your time. So we're only going to keep you about 5 more minutes. Just showing you, like, this is the really cool, like, this is the cool part, but there's more. Like, what? So you get all of these goodies here as well. It's in the bottom of the Canadian starter bundle, and we're like, oh my gosh, all the good stuff, right? So they come with all these goodies. We have a hand sanitizer that has been approved here in Canada as it's on the government list of approved hand sanitizers that can be used during this amazing time we are having right now. And then we have some Ninja Red. So people, this is your other go-to. This, I am not kidding you, makes up 40% of Young Living sales. Yes. Why? Because it is our liquid supplement. It's made from the wolfberry. It comes from Ningxia, China, hence the name. But wolfberry is like the second highest antioxidant in the world. And what does that mean? That means it's all the good stuff that's going to support all of those systems we've been talking to you about tonight. So definitely is something that you need to get your hands on. Mental health. This, when I started drinking this, you only need like one of these pouches a day. It comes in bottles for 2 ounces. But this was like some amazing things happened when I started to drink this. That's when I started getting my eyesight back. My dizziness went away. I had like energy. Okay. Anybody looking for energy? What? It comes in a package. And it is nothing like caffeine. It is nothing like those energy drinks out there that give you that zing of energy and then the crash. It's not like that at all. So you need to get your hands on this stuff. It's good.
I will say we call this the energy stabilizer at home. So good, no crash like Mel was saying. Definitely, it's just kind of like this even keel energy throughout the day. And the other thing that it does, or what it has done for me and a few of my kids, is it's made us regular. And I have had that problem. I had that problem for years, ever since I was a kid. And so this has been a huge improvement in what happens in the bathroom. and of course, if our gut health is good, our brain health is good. So it really does go hand in hand.
It does. Absolutely. You have got to. So you want to definitely see this amazing change and get support. Like this kit right here is what has changed my life. It has saved my life. I know it has, because with what I was experiencing, all the symptoms, all those crazy symptoms, it was so debilitating emotionally. I started suffering from like intense depression. And I can say that I don't think I would be here if I hadn't have found a way to get better, because I did not want to live like that. And there was a few times I came very close to taking my own life because I couldn't see a way out. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, like, thank goodness I made it through so I could get my hands on some tools that gave me my life back, my dreams back, my kids, their mom back, like energy. Like, I am so grateful for this stuff. So definitely, I mean, you definitely want to have some goodness in your life. Everybody is worthy of a happy, healthy life, getting the energy, feeling great. You have to do that. So, like, I mean, I don't know about you, Kristen. Do you want to do that?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I want that.
Totally, right? Then all you got to do is grab your starter bundle. That's it. So, how do you do that? You can message me or Kristen, drop a comment, whatever. However, we will get this in your hands tonight. And it's like definitely something that is worth trying for sure. And drop a heart in the comments below if you have ever been a person to be like, yeah, I've gone through that. I need help with mental health. Yeah, I've dealt with mental health before. Yeah, I know somebody who has, right? Like, I almost feel like we all have, either ourselves or somebody that we know. So definitely do that. Drop a heart in the comments if you agree. And so, like, what the health are you waiting for?
What the health? What the health?
What the health are you waiting for? Absolutely amazing. Okay, we will say goodnight now, and we will see you next Monday for episode number 5. We will be talking about pain management next Monday. So see you all then.
Right.